Welcome to the Bushido gang. What's up, guys? It's Attack on Samurott, and welcome to my breakdown of week 1 of the Bushido gang draft league, the league that is hosted by my Discord, the Bushido gang. I'm gonna be going through all the games that happened in week 1. So before we actually get started with this, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, join my Discord Bushido gang, and subscribe for some more content on the channel. Also follow me on my Pokeamino and check out my Smokearm profile. All those links will be down in the description on this. I'm trying to reach 250 subs before the end of July, so I would appreciate if you guys can check me out and also share my stuff too and all that jazz. So in my draft league, there are 8 players, including me. So for this game right here, we have Helga, captain of the Pennsylvania Phantoms, and we have Ace Trainer Eric, captain of the Sunset Lakes Septiles. So let's dive into their game. So turn 1, he leads with Mew as they lead with the Mandibuzz. He goes for the Meteor Beam turn 1. Fire. He goes for the foul play to counteract him. But what he could do here is actually switch if he wants to. So what he is going to do is just go for the soft bolt right now. So Eric's going to choose to go on the cleft to scout for whatever this would go for. And then Helga's Liking Rock goes for the Stone Edge, which is some crazy damage. So that's looking like some adamant damage, maybe banded or something. But yeah, Cleft's going to try and recover, but it's not going to be enough. And Cleft is going to fall over. So here comes Rillaboom to try to get some revenge. And now he goes for the Protected Scout as Eric goes for the U-turn. So now he can go into the Sense Squish for free. Goes for the Superpower on the switch in. That was a little crazy. Maybe that might have been a read. Maybe he just wanted to get some damage off. I'm not too sure. But he brings in the Mew. Now he goes for the knock on the switch in. So now what he can do is go for Hazards if he has it. But he's going to reveal the Toxic, which is pretty cool. Very, very cool. Now this Sense Squish is going to be neutered unless it has Rest. He goes for the default to get rid of the terrain. I don't know about that play. I think that was a pretty weird play, but Toxic there. He goes for the Meteor Beam again, maybe on another coil. But unfortunately, Helga is not going to go for that play. So Eric's down 2 Mons. He brings in the Frost Moth. He goes for the Hurricane, and there goes the Stena Scorch. That thing fell over, and then comes in Azumarill. He can go right into the Rillaboom to scout. But he chooses to stay in and go for the Giga Drain instead as Kirim comes in and goes for a Dragon Claw and kills Frostmoth. Yo, hold up. Hold up. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this is actually my second time watching this, but I still can't believe that Kirim went for Dragon Claw like that so confidently. Like Helga went in. Like they just went right in for it and were just like, okay, I'm gonna go for the Dragon Claw and I'm about to kill this Frostmoth. Like, yo. I think that was banded. I'm not too sure. Not too sure, but that might have been banded because that is some crazy damage to kill a Frostmoth like that. So that's a very, very crazy tech. I like it. So here comes Darm to scare him out. He can go into the Liking Rock to scout as he goes for the sub. You already know what he about to do. He about to go for the belly drum, but unfortunately, he did not get to the Salic range. So unfortunately, there goes the Darm. So to get to Salic range, he would have to be like no investment, which does get him down to 25. So if he actually hold up, let me do the calc again. Actually, let me go to Showdown. So let's see. Let's go to Darm real quick. Again, I just want to show you guys just so you guys can know, like, if you want to do some kind of like set with Salic Berry, you always want to make sure that the HP is I think it has to be odd. So if you make it odd, then it should get down to the percentage you need it to be at. Because again, for Salic to activate, it needs to be at 25%. So I do believe that if it's like this, it should get to 25, but I could be very wrong. I got to scout. I got to actually calc that. Because 351 divided by 4 should be 25, I think. No. Let me just see this though, because it needs to be 25. So I think 14. Wait a minute, I'm tripping. I think I'm definitely wrong about something here. Wait, I should just go divided by 4. So 351 by 4, 87. No. I'm definitely getting something off, but or getting something wrong. I think Actually, I think that might be 87 HP. No. I might be thinking wrong though, um, but still, Darm has a pretty like interesting like what's the word? Crap, I can't think of the word. It's HP stat. So, most monsters like above eight that are above like 100 HP do have like 101 HP or substitutes, so they could take up to 101 damage. So I do think, well, Darm is pretty frail though, so it doesn't take that hit very well anyway. But still, I don't think he needed investment. I might be wrong. I think it might be 4. It might have been 4, or maybe no investment. I'm sorry to like mess up your guys' time, but I do believe that there's like no investment. But let me see my own sets. I think I'll just look at something like this. Yeah, okay, it's like, yeah, you don't need HP. I don't think this didn't need HP, so he didn't need the 4 HP to get his Salic. He could have just went like max attack, max speed, no HP, and he would have been fine. Anyways, I'm sorry about that. So now what he could do is bring in the Rillaboom and scare him out. But he's gonna go for the sucker. He goes for the Yui. Definitely think he should have went for the attack. He's kind of down at this point, like 2 mons. So he goes for the sub here. Yo, sub Liking Rock. Okay. So what Helga goes for here is they're gonna go for the Stone Edge, and they get a massive crit on that. But Eric is gonna retaliate and go for the Seed Bomb and knock him out. But unfortunately, Kirim comes in, and that is going to be the game with an outrage. So that is going to be that's gonna be 1-up for the Pennsylvania Phantoms, and yeah. So GG's. And let's move on to game 2. So game 2, we have the we have the Fire Nation versus the Dubai Dragapults. So let's see how this game's gonna go down. So Bible, captain of the hold up, wait, I'm sorry. Captain Bible Captain Bible of the Fire Nation, and Captain DNNP. I'm just gonna call him DMX, because that's just easier. of the Dubai Dragapult is gonna lead with the Toxapex, as they're going to lead with the Sableye. So he's gonna go for the taunt on the Baneful Bunker, which is not gonna go through. He goes for the knockoff. So there goes the Black Sledge on Toxapex. He goes for the knockoff, and there goes there goes the lefties on Sableye. He goes for the taunt to scout for T-spikes or whatever, but instead he is going to get knocked again. So now he goes for the recovery with the Sableye. So now what he can do here is go for the burn, as he is going to burn the Cobalion. So the Dragapults are going to switch out and go for the Volt Switch, as Pole can come in now. Goes for the Draco, and Draco is not going to kill the Sableye. Goes for the knockoff, and he gets a crit on the Dragapult. So there goes the lefties. Oh, that is tough. That is very tough. And the miss is even worse. So now he's forced to switch out and go into the Cobalion to get rocks up if need be. In comes Ace to scare him out. So now he's forced to take the Power Ball, which he does take very nicely. He gets up the rocks. So he's going to save the Cobalion in the back. Goes for the Court Change. So now rocks are on the Dragapult side. Goes for the knockoff on the Sableye switching. Not going to do too much damage. In comes the Claydol to try and spin. But here comes a taunt on the switching into Claydol. He can switch right back and bring in the Celebi, as Celebi is going to be able to get some lefties going, and is going to start calm minding in the Sableye's face. He goes for the knockoff, get rid of the lefties as well. This Sableye is just knocking everything. Just knock left and right. Here comes the Giga Drain. It does a decent chunk to the Sableye, but not enough. He can just switch out here, go into Ace to catch Giga, as Giga only does like 27%. So while Cinderace is frail, it is going to take that hit decently well. Here comes the Sucker Punch, but instead it's just a switch in. So now he can go for Pex. He can switch out and go back into Claydol, as he is going to switch now and go back into Sableye. And the Dragapults catch the Sableye with a trick, and now it is locked into knockoff. So this is pretty good for them. Here comes the Rotom. Goes for the Earth Power on the Rotom switch, not doing jack. Here comes the Hydro Pump, and there goes Sableye. There goes the Claydol. So now Celebi can come in here, and Celebi is going to be very threatening to the Fire Nation. Here comes the Dark Pulse. I'm so sorry. Here comes the Dark Pulse here. Now he can switch out, go into Urshifu to scout for Psychic, but there's going to be another Giga Drain, and that is going to take some damage onto that Urshifu. He could sack the Cobalion here and try and get himself a free switching into the Toxapex. which he's going to do right here. Actually, wait, I'm kidding. He goes into the Celebi, so he can scout for whatever. Goes for the Giga Drain, and that is going to keep that Sableye nice and low at 5%. So now what he can do here is go for another Giga Drain and just keep weakening the Cinderace. That's what he wants to do. He wants to keep it low for the Pex, since this Cinderace is not going to do too much to the Toxapex, as it doesn't even have Zen Headbutt. So now you can bring in the Indeedee, and Indeedee is going to put on some pressure. Here comes the Baneful Bunker as he goes for the Expanding Force. And now he can just sack the Dragapult here, as Dragapult doesn't really do too much at this point, and it's already at 5%. So he goes into the Celebi, and now this is where it gets interesting. This is where it gets very, very interesting, because this Celebi is looking pretty dangerous, as you can see. He's going to knock out that Rotom right now. And now you can bring in the Sableye, goes for the taunt to scout for Calm Mind, but instead the Dragapults are going to go for the Giga Drain and knock out the Sableye, and there goes one for the and there goes another for the Fire Nation. Here comes the Pex, as Pex is a hard counter to the Ace. Here comes the Yui. Yui does a crit to the Pex, but Pex is eating because Pex is that boy. A very annoying one at that. But anyways, here comes the Baneful Bunker on the trick. So now he's going to go into the Celebi to catch the trick, as now the Dragapults have a Choice Scarf Celebi, and the Indeedee's just going to protect the Scout as he goes for the Giga Drain. So now he can freely go into the Amoonguss, and he goes for the Giga Drain again. Only does like a 7% crit, but that is not very much damage. Here comes the Toxapex, as he's pretty much going to be pivoting between both Celebi and Toxapex, as both of them can deal decently well against the Fire Nation. Here comes a knockoff to get rid of the Black Sledge. Here comes a Spore to put the Pex to sleep, and now in comes Indeedee to put on more pressure. So now he's forced to switch around with the Celebi and try and get some recovery going, being locked into the Choice Scarf recover. So overall, the DMX is trying to keep his Celebi as healthy as he can. He goes for the recovery again, and now in comes Pex to take a hit from the Cinderace. Here comes a Yui. Yui doing a little bit of damage, but nothing crazy, because this Pex is just going to live every hit. Here comes the Indeedee on no Psychic Surge. Here comes the Wake Up from Pex. He can switch back out and go right back into Celebi and put more pressure on him. So he's going to do just that. He's going to go for the Expanding Force on the Celebi again. Here comes the Amoonguss to take another hit. He goes for the Psychic on the switch, and it catches the Amoonguss. That does a nice beefy 50% to it. Here comes the Pex again. Here comes the Urshifu to catch whatever it will go for. Here comes the Indeedee switch in. So he doubles back. Now here comes the knock, and there goes no item on the Indeedee, but some nice damage on that Indeedee though. And here comes a Baneful Bunker to scout for whatever the Indeedee would do. Here comes the Yui on the Pex to do no damage. Here comes Indeedee again. On like 3 turns of Psychic Surge, but getting even more worn down. So here comes the Expanding Force again, as he's always going to keep protecting no matter what, because he needs to keep these two healthy. Here comes another Expanding Force, but Celebi is going to tank it like a champ. Here comes another recovery, and you already know what's about to happen next. He's just going to be pivoting between Celebi and Toxapex to get some kind of leverage going. Here comes a Yui. Yui does 12%, but again, you already know it's not that much damage. So now what he could do is go for the Baneful Bunker, and again, just try to stall out the Psychic Surge as much as possible. Here comes Celebi again to do what it does best, soak a hit and then recover up. So he's gonna do just that. So now Bible brings in the Cinderace to put on pressure. Here comes Pex again to do, you know what else? Take the hit. So here comes another Yui, and now Ace is going to switch back and go into the Amoonguss to put the Pex back to sleep. But instead, he's going to try and catch him, but he goes for the Baneful Bunker instead to scout. So he goes for it again, and the Fire Nation go for a Yui, and there's going to be a Poison Cinderace. That is looking pretty bad, no cap. That's looking pretty bad. And here comes the Indeedee to die to a knockoff on the switch in. So somehow the Dragapults have come back from this, from pivoting between Celebi and Pex to bring themselves in this position to where Amoonguss can only go for Spore, Cinderace gets walled by the Pex, and Urshifu is the only way to really break through. So let's see if he can actually do it. Let's see if the Fire Nation can break through with this. But here comes the Spore, though, on the switching and the Celebi, which was a great play on their part. He goes for a Psychic in the Surge, which does a ton. Here comes a Sledge Bomb, gets the Poison. So now Celebi is looking very, very low, and he's going to be forced to sack it as he goes for the Psychic on the Urshifu. And there it goes. There it goes. Here comes the Pex. And now we see some interesting games going on. He's going to knock off here, get rid of the heavy-duty boots, and there it goes. Ace is down to 7%. Here comes the Amoonguss to do what it does best, put it to sleep, and we're just gonna be here for a while. He's just gonna be waiting out his sleep turns and just gonna keep on keeping on. So we're gonna skip, 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 and here goes the wake up. He's gonna recover here. So on the recovery, he's gonna get back to sleep on the spore. So sleep, wake up on the second turn, goes for the knockoff, doesn't do too much, and he's going to just sledge bomb it down, just try to keep it as low as he can, but it's pretty much just going to be a struggle match between these two as he's going to keep sporing to keep it low. Now here comes Urshifu to go for the greatest move ever, the wicked blow, as there is a nice and powerful crit, but he wakes up on the crit, going to knock off, get rid of the band, and now he's going to let the Pex die, but he has one Mon left. The boy, Swoobat. What's Swoobat gonna do? It's gonna kill the Urshifu. Yo! Okay. In this, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I did not think that, well, for one, I would think that the Fire Ninja would have Sucker Punch to deal with the Swoobat, but apparently they did not have Sucker Punch. So, with that in mind, Swoobat is going to take out the Urshifu, and now all that's left is Swoobat against two things that it can easily deal with. Here comes an Air Slash, and there is going to be a crit Air Slash to the dome, and that is a dead Amoonguss. And now here comes the Ace. He's not going to go for Sucker Punch, and that's going to be the game. Just like that. So that is going to be 1 point for the Dubai Dragapults, and that ends another game for this round, or for this week. So let's move on to the third game of the Draft League. So here's the third game. Now we have the Wisconsin Weezings, coached by Helmy, and we have the Farmington Feraligators, coached by King Eevee. So let's see how this game is going to go down. So we got G-Bro versus Heliolisk. Here comes whoa, hold up, wait a minute. Yo, wait a minute. We just saw the shell sidearm from the quick clawing, quick claw, quick draw. I can't even talk. The Galarian Slowbro is just gonna get the quick claw, quick draw right off bat, and is gonna get some nice damage on that Heliolisk with the shell sidearm. And the Heliolisk reveals U-turn, which is very interesting. So Drill's gonna come in here now, and he's gonna be forced to switch out and go into Corviknight, which he is going to do. I'm sorry you can't see the Corviknight on the screen. It will show up eventually. Here comes the Dragapult, or the Dragology. Here comes a bulk up right now. He's gonna bulk up twice actually. And he's going to go for a Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt does a decent chunk, but that Corviknight seems to be especially defensive. So he's going to be able to take the hit, and he's going to body press it. Very interesting. Goes for the flip turn here, so now he can bring in the Heliolisk to put some pressure on. So that's what he's just going to do. He's going to actually switch out and go into Zero Aura to catch the Thunderbolt, which he is going to catch, which is very nice. So now what King can do is knock off here, which he chooses not to do. He goes for the bulk up instead, which is interesting, and he's going to switch. So that means that he might not have knockoff on this. So now he's going to go for the Draco with the Dragology. So Helmy's going to go for the damage right now, which is fair. He's going to switch and go right back into the Heliolisk, and he's going to go for the Roost right here on the King Eevee side. So Roost was a good play there. He's going to Thunderbolt, and that does a ton of damage, and he gets the para, but he's going to body press it and knock out the Heliolisk. So it's going to be a 1v1 pretty much, as now the Urshifu can come in here and just revenge kill it. But he's going to go into the Gelatin to eat the hit, as he goes for the Ice Punch on the switch-in. So great play on his part, or on King Eevee's part to catch it. He's going to go for the Will-O-Wisp on the Dragology switch-in, so great play. Again, getting residual damage on everything is the goal right here for the King Eevee side. So he's going to go for the flip turn, but what's it called? Jealous is just going to eat the hit, so he's going to go for the Thunderbolt, gets the para right there. So the para is going to be pretty tough. I'd say. He's going to Thunderbolt again, trying to keep this as low as possible, and he gets a para right there. So not too good for King Eevee, but it's looking very, very nice for Helmy. So he's going to recover finally. So now he has to keep recovering, again, trying to keep his Gelatin as healthy as possible. But here comes another para, and the Dragology is just struggling at this point. He's going to go right into the Zero Aura to catch the Thunderbolt, and he's going to do it again. Dragology is on 1% and is going to get sacked, and he's going to knock him off, and there goes the Dragology. So he's down. So Helmy's down 2 Mons, and King Eevee is up by 6, even with one Mon about to drop though to Rocks, being the Corviknight. Here comes the Drill. Now he's pretty much forced to sack this, as he is going to sack it. So what he could do here is go into the Corviknight, but Corviknight is going to fall to the rocks, and now it's 2-2. Or now it's a 4-4. So let's see what happens. He goes for the Shadow Ball with the Porygon 2. It's going to do too much with the Earthquake. So there goes P2. And now he's going to try and get some quick draw going. But unfortunately, the Slowbro's going to fall. Here comes the Rotom. Now it's down 2-4. Goes for the Leaf Storm. There goes the Escadrille to the Leaf Storm from the Rotom, and now in comes the Necrozma to do what it does best. Yes, sir, you already know what this thing does. It's about to sit up and go for a sweep. Here comes a Discharge trying to get a para, but unfortunately, our hero, King Eevee, is not going to get it, and Helmy is going to sit on him with the Cosmic Power setup, and it does not look great, my guys. It does not look great. It's looking like it's about to be a sweep, and it's going to be a cleanup from the Necrozma, and that is going to be the game, since Zeraora is not going to be able to break through this. It's only going to do like 11%, and that is going to be the game, as Zeraora just struggles to live just for one more second, maybe a last-ditch crit, but unfortunately there is no last-ditch crit, and that is the game. So that is that. So the Wisconsin Weezings win for week 1. So they get their 1 point. So now here we go. This is my game versus this is my game, my team, the Washington Samurats versus the versus I am so sorry. I did not mean to brain fart there. Versus the New Mexico Ludicolo, coached by Edster. So let's see how this game goes down. So turn 1, I lead with Rodriguez as my opponent. Edster's going to lead with the Magearna. He goes for the Volt Switch. This does a lot to me. I'm going to stay in here and go for the T-Spike because I want to make sure that I keep his defensive bonds poisoned. If I can keep them poisoned, then I'll have a lot more leeway going here. Here comes the Rotom. I'm going to go into Ditto to scout for the trick, but unfortunately, Ed goes for the Defog, and I was like, no, not the Defog. I go for the Discharge, and it does 12%, so I'm just like, no. The Nasty Plot's right here, and I'm just like, oh, no, this is bad. I have to go in the Blissey to scout. Goes for the Blizzard, and he misses, unfortunately. So I have to try and toss this down if possible. I'm actually going to go for Rocks. I'm kidding. I'm going to go for Rocks first. He goes to the Heracross, and I do believe I go for the toss here. I do go for the toss. Does a decent chunk, but he also reveals Lefty, so that told me that he was not some kind of like bandit set or something. He goes for the sub, and I'm just like, oh no, this is looking real bad now. So he goes for the knockoff. He's going to get rid of my lefties, but he's going to get Mummy instead of Moxie. So he's weaker, but and I do break through with the Nightshade. So now what I'm going to do here is that I'm actually going to be forced to go for the Trick Room. So I go for the Trick Room here. Actually, no, I don't go for it yet because I still could take the hit. But he's going to switch out now. And now I go for the Trick Room. And now I go for the Memento, and I'm going to weaken that Rotom. So my goal here is to bring in the to the Machamp and also stop Default. He goes on the Bro, as Bro is going to get poisoned, which is just what I wanted. I go for the Dynamic Punch. It does a decent chunk to the Bro, but Bro is too fat and is just going to live. He's also going to reveal to be faster than me and is going to kill me with the... Is going to do a lot to my Machamp with the Side Shock, but I'm able to retaliate and knock him out, or almost knock him out with the Darkest Lariat, and I also win the Speed tie here. So I win the Speed tie here on turn 15. But still, that was pretty much a waste of Trick Room, as now my Machamp is dead, and I pretty much have to rely on my Rain Core at this point. So he's going to bring in the Rotom to Defog here. I go for the Toss just to weaken this as much as I can. He's going to go into Coma O now, and I was really fearing this thing to be like some kind of setup set. He goes for the Rocks instead, so that told me that he was not a setup kind of Coma O. But he goes for the Press, and Press brings me down to 2% as I go for the Teleport. I bring in the Pelipper here. Now, when I brought in Pelipper, literally, I thought that this was pretty much okay, because I wanted to set this up for the Kingdra, because if I could set this up for the Kingdra, then I'll be able to kind of have some leverage going, and I could potentially break through with Kingdra plus Ditto, and I could be able to break through the Magearna, as Magearna is a very, very threatening mon. And currently, Magearna is being suspect tested on the right now. So, in terms of like what I have planned for Magearna, I'm not too sure yet. But the suspect test is said to be ending in 2 weeks, and 2 weeks from now is pretty much going to be agency trades and going to be trading in general, so, or trading between different coaches too. So So for now, I will allow Ed to keep it, but I just wanted to bring that point in there. So, anyways, again, my Pelipper can put some pressure on him, but what I do here is probably the worst play possible. I go right into Kingdra, predicting him to go for like some kind of setup move, but instead he goes for the Draco, and that is going to hurt me a ton as my Rancor is no more. So I have to go into Pelipper to go for a Hurricane, as he can easily go Magearna and just take the hit, and Hurricane only does like 18%. So Mag's just going to sweep me now with the Volt Switch. And pretty much all I have to go off of is Ditto. If Ditto could try to like sweep, then I might be okay. But I go Ditto right here as I'm going to get the Intimidated off on his own Incineroar. I go for the CC as that's the move that he had. And I get a crit on him. So I get something going, but it's not going to be enough. He goes Heracross now as I'm going to be forced to sack my Blissey. So I sack the Blissey here as it doesn't do anything else for me, and it's pretty much just gonna get sacked. He goes into Magearna, which was interesting to me. Don't know why he did that, but I guess maybe he wanted to preserve the Como or something. But anyways, he's gonna Volt out, and that's gonna knock out my Blissey. He brings in the Heracross now, and at this point, I was kind of hoping that Ditto might have a shot against this Heracross if I can Mega Horn. But instead I go for the Focus Punch. I went Focus Punch because I was trying to scout the Magearna, but in hindsight, I think if I Mega Horned, I might have had a better shot. Like, and no kidding, I think I might have. I actually think I had a better shot if I just Mega Horned instead of going for the Focus Punch there, because Focus Punch only would have worked against Magearna, and Magearna was already low, and since he was Moxie, I might have still had a shot. Granted, the Como could still like Draco me, and Draco would do a ton. But I still think I might have had something going had I just went for the Mega Horn. But Focus Punch was the worst play I could have made, and that is gonna hurt me as I lose my focus and I can only Mega Horn. I do knock out the Heracross, but again, the Como will easily eat, and he could just body press me with it, and that is gonna be that. And you see, that did 39%, which is not that bad at all. But still, I might have had a better shot had that not happened, but that's gonna be GG. And Ed, captain of the New Mexico Ludicolos, is going to win for week 1. So that is going to be that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this narration. Again, these games are very fun, man. These games are very, very fun. So week 2, I already have the game set up for my opponents, or for the players. Same with my game as well. I'm going to have my game on Friday with Helga, captain of the Pennsylvania Phantoms. So I'll be playing them this Friday. So yeah, I'll probably have the recording again for next week, so you guys can check that out. And yeah, I also am still behind on the draft league stuff, or the draft leagues, like everyone's draft. Like I still have to post King Eevee's draft and Eric's draft, which I do have Eric's draft already set up, but I need to post King Eevee's right afterwards. So yeah, anyways, that's gonna be it for this review of the games. I'd probably say that my favorite game I don't know. My favorite game might be, ooh, I don't know why, but I like this game a lot. This game was fun. This game looked very, very fun. Especially with, I mean, Pex isn't the most interesting mon to see, but when you play it aggressively, it could be very, very deadly. And DMX played it very, very nicely against it. Against the Fire Nation, Bible Captain of the Fire Nation. Like, he played very well against him with Pex just knocking every turn. But yeah, this game was pretty crazy. Very good game. And then probably second would be Helga's game. This game was funny. This game was pretty funny just because it was really cool to see the Choice Banded Kyurem go off. I still think Eric had a shot though. Had he played aggressively with the Darm and the Rillaboom, he might have had a shot. But still, this was a very cool game though. Very, very cool game. I hate putting this one at third, but still, this one was pretty cool though. It was a pretty close game, actually. It could have been close. I definitely think that King Eevee had a shot with the Zeraora if he played it a little bit more aggressively. But still, he had a tough matchup when you have to deal with the Grimmsnarl plus Urshifu, and you don't know. Well, I mean, you know the Urshifu form, but you don't know if it's gonna be Bandit or if it's gonna be Life Orb. And it seemed like Helmies was going to be more of a Twist Scarf kind of variant. Um, and that actually that drill might have been Twist Scarf. Let me see. I think that drill was Twist Scarf because it just swept through everything. Uh, because it did outspeed. I don't think it outsped the. No, it didn't outspeed. So it might have been like special defensive drill. Since it also went for rocks too, but still, this game was pretty cool too. It was nice to see this. It was nice to see the Jellicent try to 1v1 the Dragology. That was very cool. And I also think Corviknight had a shot too. Like Corviknight could have went off. Like if he had the if he was running Brave Bird, or even Power Trip, like, well, actually Brave Bird would have been better, but Power Trip, Brave Bird's still better though. Like if he had Brave Bird, then this would have been a sweep. This would have been a sweep, barring the Heliolisk. He definitely had multiple chances to deal with the Heliolisk. Again, he dealt with it pretty nicely with Zeraora. Again, if he was more aggressive with Zeraora, he might have came out of this. But also Necrozma was a pretty threatening mon too. He didn't really have much for Necrozma. Outside of maybe the Porygon Z, if it was Specs, which I'm pretty sure it was. Or it might have been like it could have been Specs, or maybe it was Nasty Plot. But still, that was a very cool game. And then coming down to my game against Ed, I really was not expecting Choice Scarf, the Choice Scarf, Magearna. Like that was very interesting. Very interesting. And same with the Heracross. As you can see, it was running sub Focus Punch. Which Focus Punch, I'm going back into ADV, I'm sorry. But ADV Heracross used to run Focus Punch a lot as a way to just kind of be a catch-all mon and just catch everything. So it was very cool to see something like that on Heracross. I was actually expecting to be like something like a Twist Scarf one, or maybe even a Banded one, or he could have been like Spikes with it. So Heracross has multiple like stuff it can do. So that was a mon I was pretty scared of too, but I was very scared of the Magearna and the Como. Like he could have done so much with this. Like again, like I said, his draft is very versatile in terms of like power. Like he could do a lot with these two. These two together are not. These two together are very strong. But again, like I said, with Magearna getting suspect tested, he might not have Magearna for very long. So yeah, I should have played a little bit more aggressively though, especially with the Kingdra. Like Kingdra had a shot, but again, I wasn't sure what kind of Magearna he was, so I didn't want to play too aggressive with my Kingdra. But still, again, GG to Ed, and GG to everybody else. Again, these were some very fun games. So I will be back for week 2 to review the week 2 games. So yeah. If you guys enjoyed this review, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, join my Discord Bushido gang, and subscribe for some more content on the channel. Also, follow me on my Pokeamino, and check out my Smogon profile. All those links will be down in the description on this. So be safe, wash your hands, and peace out.